Hey, how's it going? Today is Wednesday, December 11th, 2099. No. I'm off by about 80 years. 2019. That's because I was looking at covers of books. Anyways, I just came back from Orange, where I went to Torpedo Comics. Ooh, excuse me. For my latest. Considering I'm yawning, you'd think I was caffeine deprived, but I've already had 3 cups of coffee. So I decided to switch to tea. And if I'm having tea, what is more appropriate than tea time with the doctor? Okay. These are in no order. They may have been at one point, but I had to make a quick stop on the way back in the car, and because they were doing construction, and suddenly the guy decided he was going to stop traffic, so I hit the brakes, and everything went flying in the back seat, so everything was all over the floor. But that's okay, considering I have a cat. I don't think I have a single comic that's mint to begin with, and I've already gone off over a minute and a half, and I haven't even looked at the comic yet. And this was a big week for the kid. So really quickly, I'm going to go through Immortal Hulk number 28. Look at that cover. Wanted, Bruce Banner. Belted by gamma rays, turns it into a Hulk. Ain't he on glamour ray, as we used to say. If you're not picking up Far Sector, the Green Arrow Green Lantern miniseries. I'm losing it. Green Lantern miniseries by N.K. Jemisin. You really should. What a wonderful character this new Green Lantern is, and you find out. Is she really a Green Lantern? But it really is a great series. I highly recommend it. Or else hold off for the trade paperback coming out next year. Oh. We got Annihilation Scourge. Beta Ray Bill. A character I've always liked since his introduction by Walt Simonson back when he was doing Thor during the day. The only quibble with Annihilation is the main, and this is a spoiler, maybe, the main villain is Sentry, a character I've always despised, who was introduced for some bizarre reason as sort of Marvel's Superman, but someone who basically was there for the creation of the Marvel Universe, went into space, and it was forgotten by everyone. And then he returns, and it was like, I don't think anybody's known what to do with the character. So he decided to, since he was so powerful, they didn't want him running around the other characters. They turned into a villain. And now he's just, he's Marvel's version of Superboy Prime, if you know what I'm talking about. Another character that I despised. We got Shoplifters Will Be Liquidated, number 3. A really good story on consumerism, the government, big corporations, pretty good. This was actually given to me sort of as a joke. We got Tales of the Teen Titans, the Judas Contract. This is because this week also we have Tales of the Dark Universe. This very tale told in a different fashion. But what if the character had been successful? We have Red Mother by Jeremy Horn and Danny Lockett. This has been recommended to me, a horror movie, and it took me a second to realize what was going on in the cover. Woo! Okay. We got Dollhouse Number 2, this is part of the Joe Hill, Hill House imprint, or pop-ups, as DC is calling them. It's also part of the DC Black Label, which is for like 17 and older. They're R-rated books. Although I get confused between Black Label and the Young American, which is sort of their YA. I think that's like 14 and up. Anyway, speaking of which, Doom Patrol. See, Doom Patrol is ages 17 and up. And this is part of the young animal sequence, which used to have Shade and some other characters. Naomi was introduced there. I think Wonder Twins were part of that. I get confused on what's what in that imprint. I don't think they know exactly what's going on. We got Fantastic Four number 17, and it's like that cover. Looks really nice. I love the way they do Johnny Storm like that. Where you can see his costume. That's really nicely done. We got House of Whispers number 16. A really good book on voodoo in New Orleans and things like that. Recommended. Really nicely done. I was going to pass on this since I wasn't familiar with it, but then I saw that it was written by Joe Hill. Well, I think we can see that, right? Sid Holmes. I have no clue. I can't figure out if he's like a stand-up comedian or what the heck's going on. But it looks interesting. And as I say, I really like Joe Hill. Basketful of Heads is a really good story. Lock and Key and all the stuff that he's done, really good. Gotham City Monsters, and now Batwoman. I think issue number 3 was was bad because at least on the regular cover, you see, and it said it was like Fight Batwoman, but then she doesn't appear until the final page. So I thought that was kind of a jerky move. Plus, it gives away the very ending of the book. Whatever. Heist, or How to Steal a Planet. Nice little fun sci-fi heist thing. Group of con men get together. Let's get a gang together. If you watch the recent Rick and Morty episode that deals with that, them not going to heist con. So this is kind of funny. It's like basically, let's get the gang together and pull a heist. And what's the heist? We're going to steal the planet. Undiscovered Country. I highly recommend this book. It's really good. I think it was actually hit the top 10 Sailors Wise for Diamond last month, I believe, the first issue. Nice political thing about what happens. America has been sealed up by a wall for the past 30 years and suddenly opens up to this group of scientists that wants to get in. Things go wrong and they discover it's not what they expected. Speaking of 2099, we got Spider-Man 2099. Miguel, those of you who saw Into the Spider-Verse, saw him at the very end of that, which it actually had me go as soon as I realized who it was at the end of that movie. I hope he appears in the sequel. We got Mobius, the Living Vampire. Another interesting villain from DC's horror period when they were doing Man Thing and Man Wolf and other stuff like that. And it's really good. And things are going wrong for Mobius. We got Hit Girl by Pete Milligan. And this is India, part 3 of 4. We got Gideon Falls, number 19. I'm curious how long this is going to go. It's still listed as a continuing a series, but things are sort of, becoming. So it looks like it's coming, to an end, or at least things will go off the rail. You got Strike Force number 4, with just a really interesting group of characters. And when I say, I happen to love Blade, so he's in there. Speaking of the Spider-Verse, we got Spider-Verse 3 of 6, featuring Miles Morales, stuck trying to save the multiverse, and this time he encounters Spider, who is this robotic giant Spider-Man. Something is Killing the Children, a nice horror tale by James Tynion IV, who's becoming one of my favorite current writers nowadays, and I recommend this. And looks like the kind of movie that kind of book that could well be turned into a movie without a huge budget. We got Ray number 2. Currently the only Valiant title that I'm picking up, I think. Punisher Soviet number 2. Frank going up against, and I love that cover, right? That has that old Soviet style to it. That's what do they call Soviet realism? Really cool. And anyways, Frank going up against the Russian mafia. Oblivion Song, which I think I read is maybe being adapted, but this is by Robert Kirkman. But I get confused whether it's Gideon Falls or Oblivion Song, which is being adapted by one of the streaming services. Miles Morales, Spider-Man, number 13. Miles and his uncle, who's, I think, the Prowler, having problems. They have to get across town, and things in their way. New Mutants, number 3. And there's still rumors going on about that movie, which I really would like to see. I believe it's R-rated. It was pulled from theaters, and right now the discussion seems to be whether it will be on Disney Plus or Hulu. And we'll see. We got another Tales from Dark Universe. As I was telling you, this is a darker version of Teen Titans: The Judas Contract, and normally in these things, the villains the villains seem to come out on top. Although in the one, oh my God, was it Darkest Night with Sinestro? That turned in the end. We got Black Terror number 3. And finally, we've got, I love that cover, right? Misery is a Cold Wrench. And this is the Goon. Was it number 6 or 7? Number 7. I love the character of the Goon. Eric Powell's character, but don't you love that? Tip of the hat to Good Shells. I love it. And that finally is it. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to post this. I have a feeling I might have to break this up. So anyways, I'm not going to ramble on about other stuff. Just tell you, I hope you're watching Watchmen. One more episode. Hope you're watching Mandalorian. And I will see you probably next week. So peace out and take care.